So for those of you who don't know, there have been some protests going on in Anaheim recently because some kids may have been wrongfully shot and killed by the police. And I wanted to give my commentary on this because I think it might be a bit more meaningful than the average person's because of the added context of being a former security forces official in the Air Force. As much credence as you might think that actually lends me as a cop. But I've gone through specific training that had to do with this exact type of situation. So I feel that I'm more qualified than the average person to actually comment on it. So let's look at what specifically they're protesting about. In the Diaz case, this kid is running away from the police and they shoot him. Sorry, but right there I don't feel it's justified. When I was going through my training, one of the specific situations I was put in, where you have an actual M9 strapped to your hip with a sensor going to a computer with this big projector in front of you, and you're basically put in virtual reality simulations. And in one of those situations, this guy is running away from me with a weapon. Diaz did not have a weapon. This guy is running away from me with a weapon, and I am not justified in shooting him in the back. But this kid apparently was shot in the back of the head without a weapon. Now, in that case, the excuses, that's what I would call them, that the police are giving is, well, the kid was in a gang area and he threw some drugs onto a roof while I was running away. That's no fucking justification for shooting someone in the back. It's just not. I'm sorry, but the police are able to shoot people in self-defense situations because deadly force is authorized. In this kind of situation, I don't think deadly force is authorized. Not based on what I was taught anyway. So, from what I can tell, if the best mitigating factor that they can come up with is that the kid threw some drugs onto a roof, they've got a really weak case here. This is a guy who's a police officer who happened to murder someone. And I don't care if he's a police officer. That doesn't exonerate him of the crime that he committed. Obviously, as a police officer, you have to make decisions on the fly by the seat of your pants, and so that's a kind of mitigating factor in this kind of situation because you have to make split-second decisions. So you may have made a wrong decision in the end, but at the time it might have seemed right. And none of us will know the full situation as it happened. But along with that, there's the other side of the coin, which is that when you do shoot someone, you have to be sure that you are justified in doing so, as a police officer. Otherwise, I'm sorry, it's cold-blooded murder. And in this kind of situation, yeah, the police are going to protect their own, obviously. I have personal experience with that, where the one time I actually came to my coworkers in the 4 years that I worked as a cop and asked them for help with someone, I just want some property back. Okay, let's try and charge him with these 4 different bullshit crimes, and that way he'll be pressured into giving you your property back. Seriously? You're going to go that far out of your way for me just to try and make it so I can get some property back? And you don't think these guys are going to go out of their way to try and protect their own when it comes to this kind of situation? Sorry, don't buy it. That's just me personally, based on my experience. So, in the end, I think that a murderer needs to be convicted of murder, despite whether or not they may have been a police officer acting on duty or not, whatever, and a normal civilian who just happened to shoot someone in the back when they were running away from them with no provocation whatsoever in reality. Sorry. If these police officers want to come up with some better excuses than the kid threw some drugs onto a roof while he was running away and he was in a gang area, then maybe I'll consider the excuses they come up with. But in the meantime, no. Long days and pleasant nights.